graphics a little bit. So if the graphics was the only thing that was really keeping you away from the game, then that might be worth a shot. A dream something. Do I have money? 31 septims, enough for a bed? Oh, but it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, we've been walking all night long. It's too late to go to bed. I have some tea. I have some... nah. Yes. I have some stone flowers. And now remember, I forgot to install Alondra Soul's mod so we can sit down. That's okay. We'll role play it, okay? Look at that. That's lovely. Graham, if you want a flower, go for it. Good stuff.
Where is that slave?
Turns out you need to eat many flowers to not feel hungry. Yeah, the doors in the cantons are closed at night, which is annoying. If you're asking me, then no, not really. My focus in gaming has completely shifted from playing for fun to playing for language practice. Okay, so that's really something that you do. Oh, you might want to check. Oh, what's his name? There's a streamer on Twitch, and what he does, he plays game for the language. So he's gonna pick a game and a language that he's studying, play that game for a couple of months, and then switch to another game, maybe in another language. Oh, let me see if I can pick the name from the list. No, I need to get out of Morrowind. Is it Basilisk something? If anyone knows who I'm thinking of, then feel free to help me. That's what you've been doing for decades. I mean, that's great. That's exactly what we're talking about, right? Doing something you like and getting a little extra benefit from it. Love it. Where do I find the list of people that I follow? You can tell I spend a lot of time on Twitch. Wait a minute, no. Shut up, Twitch. I can't find the name right now. No, hello. Oh yeah, excellent question. I would love to know that. Well, I can't find the name right now. Maybe it will come back to me at some point, magically. And which languages are you learning also? It was quite productive up to the point where I decided to give Japanese a go. I would assume with all the JRPGs, that's what I would go for if I was learning Japanese. Big, bold characters with short exclamative sentences, though sometimes they are walls of text. Alright, so we can just hang out here for a bit. I'll use the time to practice my enchanting. You actually learned with Morrowind. Interesting. Maybe I should consider playing Morrowind in German. I don't think it would, it would be interesting for me to do. I don't know that it would be fun for anyone to watch. Aha, so you're like me where you know the game very well, so knowing what it says, you're able to work out the whole sentence. It is now 6 o'clock in the morning. We've had a cup of tea and a few flowers, as one does. Let's see if we can access... Not yet. We'll wait an hour. It is a big factor. Have you tried
He is a hard man, all right.
a game that you didn't know at all? So you would have to rely 100% on your language skills for it? Das Enwa? I see Enwa in there. Schutzstaffel. Yeah. Well, I only got Enwa from it. Having voiceovers for characters seems like a great benefit, so I'm thinking RPGs in general. Large worlds at disposal, various scenarios and characters. That would definitely be the richest you could get. It might be a bit overwhelming, depending on your level, obviously. Yeah, is that something I would... My German is not good enough. For me, that would be a problem. Have you tried, Yalka Pasca, have you tried a total conversion of Morrowind? And also which languages? I don't think I saw that. You mentioned Japanese. You've done Elder Scrolls, Gothic, Dragon Age, Witcher, Pathfinder. Alright. So definitely leaning towards RPG with their own world and lore. You're playing Skyrim in Japanese at the moment. No, that's cool. And no walls of text in Skyrim. We know that for sure. I see the Fighters Guild. Do I stop for a Fighter's Quest? No, we said tell Branora we should. The spell is going to cost me money, and so the ingredients that I gathered, hoping that I could afford a boat to Del Branora, maybe instead we'll have to go towards a more powerful spell. But I think it's the right thing to do.
Cantons, what are you...
We have a little bit of a conflict here between Repop and Morrowind. Which game was it? What language? And what was your experience?
Greetings. I'm
Dude,
Archmage
that
Permadeath,
stuff.
Guildmaster.
Hello, Kalar. Little bit of alchemy. Thank you. I don't know that we'll go and get your robes just yet. Alright, and he's already, of course... Silly me, I was talking to him completely dressed. And now that he sees my incredible physique, he's willing to talk to me more. This is... Alright, I guess it's the Wares version that... Yeah, that staff just looks wrong. Hello.
Speak freely, friend.
I have a bunch of ingredients that I think you might like. Grim, I will take all the ingredients that we've collected so far. Can I convince you to like me? Okay, no I cannot. Can we chat? I messed up. I tried to bribe, but that didn't work. I tried Ni no Kuni in Japanese. It was plain, but it's because of Japanese. Anything in Japanese is plain because of how looking up words work. When you play, do you try to stay immersed in the game as much as possible? Or, and I'm guessing, at least for that game, that's what you did, you actually look up words, not take notes. I know you said you don't take notes. So you interrupt the gameplay for the language research, as it were. Okay, we're going to sell ingredients that we know are not very good. I know I am not making any money, but maybe I could convince her to give me a septim for it. But I think it's better to increase her disposition first. And then I'll come in and try to sell things in bulk. And then try to get a bit more money for it. Do you also use other ways to learn the languages, or you're learning 100% through video games? If that's the case, that's fairly impressive, because you're left to work out or research all kinds of things. That makes it really interesting. As I said, for me, I love having the live stream, so that whenever I express an idea on how I think it works, people can shut it down quickly if I'm completely off track. But if you're on your own, it's still possible, but it's definitely harder. Alright, 56, 57. It's a very adaptive thing. I let my laziness guide me. Most of the time I look up the most stuff when starting my session, but the further I go, the less I look up, just being happy with getting the main point. If I go, if it's important, it's going to come up later. That's a really good method indeed. And it's so hard when I work with students and they tend to be hell-bent on knowing every word. And it is important to understand how the sentence is done, you know, be okay with the word order, how the pieces fit together. So when you want to do your own sentence, you know how to put them together. But it's also, it's a real life skill, even in your native language, in a normal conversation. You don't get 100% of the words, not always, not all the time, but you don't even notice it, because with the context, with the non-verbal communication, you get the most of it. Like you understood perfectly, even though if you say, what did I say exactly? You might not be able to say exactly the same words. It's a real life skill, and when you learn a foreign language and you go abroad, it's super important to go, I understood those 3 words. I think that's what it meant. So I like that approach. And indeed, if it comes up later, then Therana go, this word seems to be important. Then you can look it up. I like that. Okay, she likes me a little more. Let's see. Blue Canet. Would you give me 24 for it? You wouldn't. I'm not gonna push. 23 it is. What do we have? Do I have potions I don't need? I think they're mostly useful. Resist. What do you say? 31. No, you really don't like me, do you? And I'm not pushing. Maybe if I clicked a few times, maybe she would accept. But then her disposition towards me would go down. And it depends on the language as well. As for Polish, for instance, I watched 6 to 8 hours long course on YouTube, went on to play Gothic 1 and 2, then a few more games, then the Witcher trilogy, I could go for weeks without using a dictionary, but Polish is pretty close to my native language, and it was completely free. Nice. What is your native language? If that's not being too curious. Heather, but the bulk of them, a whole 9. You know, lady, you can make delicious tea with heather. Bone meal. Though bone meal has telekinesis, that could be useful. Gold garnet goes for 2. Would you do 15? Wow, even in sustain she says no. Then let's just go. There's one thing that I think it's fair to say I am jealous of, really. Nowadays, I'm not gonna say it's easy to learn a language, because learning a language is not easy no matter what the language and your chosen method. It's gonna take time, effort, and dedication. But the amount of options kids and teenagers have nowadays compared to, you know, in my days, we had to go to the library and so on and so forth. Russian, nice. It's amazing. Like I tutored my niece for her exams, and we did math, which I always thought I could never do and I hated. But she needed help, so I was like, okay, tell me what it is. I went to YouTube, I watched a couple of videos, I was like, okay, I get it now. And I was able to not teach her, but explain it to her and go through it with her, and we did the exercise. And it's like all the tools available. YouTube is such a treasure trove. Lots of stupid things, but my god, if you're curious, if you want to learn, and the fact that you can have a course, even if it's a beginner course, introductory course, for free on YouTube in so many different languages, it's amazing. Really amazing. Love it. So yes, jealous. Completely jealous. Also, okay, now I am jealous, but I think I am also thankful that when I was a student, we didn't have tools like ChatGPT and AI, because it must be so hard to not use those as shortcuts. Like you're a teenager and you have the choice between playing Fortnite with your friends and asking ChatGPT to write your paper and get something that's pretty good, or spend hours doing something that might be worse. So yeah, I don't envy teens for that. And I'm sure adults take the shortcuts as well. But as a teenager, even harder, I think. The only reason I went for Gothic as my first game in Polish, by the way, is because there was no Polish version of Morrowind. I think there is one, yes. There is one. I've seen mods translated in Polish. Pretty sure. I see Polish, Italian, Chinese, Cléo et le bac. Et puis peut-être la fac. Space Dogs, tu fais des rimes. Cléo et le bac et peut-être la fac. Mais je pense la fac, non. Non. Ce n'est pas son objectif. It worked out. That's the important part. And do you get to use those languages outside of the video games? Cork bulb, I have tons, but also it can actually heal. Let's keep that. However, you offer me 0, then I give them 1 too. Not at this point, at least. It's a bit of a shame, considering that a language is something meant for communication, but there's so much around it. And once you know it, if the opportunity arises, then you'll be able to speak, and that's great. Chalkweed, you offer me 0. Come on. I know I tried to bribe you and I made a wrong first impression, but let's try to do some profitable business for everyone. Black Anther, 12 of them for 9. How much is a ticket to Therana, you think? Ooh, a whole 10 for the Coda Flower. Maybe we should go back to the Bitter Coast and get a few. That's the beauty of this method. I can put down, example, French for a couple of years and then painlessly return to it. Exactly. Have you studied French already? Because I'm not sure about the painlessly then when it comes to French. Coda Flower makes this canon and profitable. Yeah. Ouais, j'espère que Cléo trouve ce qu'elle veut dans la vie. Oui, maintenant, elle veut faire du business sur Internet. Je crois elle a vu une vidéo TikTok qui dit 5 méthodes faciles pour gagner de l'argent sur Internet. Et c'est son idée.
My selections are excellent.
Yeah, but you're not making me very rich. No, 200. I can afford a spell. For sure. I'm overburdened. Let's sell you more ingredients then. Just a few more. What ingredient I'm not gonna need? That. That. Fire salts must be... Ooh, yep, very valuable. We'll keep that. Crush fiber is good for nothing or nothing that I can think of. Bone meal. Ample bones. Yeah. Alright. Grim, I'm going to give you the ingredients back. Thanks. She's an alchemist. Let's disable one. She sells spells, but I want to... I would love to have Mark and Recall. I need to craft a stronger fire spell. Somebody has spell making here? Spell making that I have access to with my rank? I think I might be in trouble because of the 2 ladies upstairs. One of them is not going to offer services to me. And it might be the one with the spell making services. She's the enchanter. Oui, gagner de l'argent, c'est toujours une bonne idée. French was my first self-taught language, and Morrowind was my first game in French, as you could probably guess. Nice. I couldn't play it in French. I was... How was it? Cliff Racers. I saw the word, and I was like... I forgot. And Ebonheart? No, Moonhold was something, and I was like, okay. Maybe I should try it at some point. For me, it just made me smile. It sounded funny. You started the game after taking a 16-lesson course. That's not a whole lot. Took me 3 hours to get through the options screen and the character creation. But the pace starting... Eboncourt? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Or you're making it up? Because I honestly don't remember. That's super impressive to go with this little. You made it up. That sounded about right, honestly. Cœur d'ébène. Literally, it would be Cœur d'ébène. Is that what they called it? Because Cœur d'ébène would translate as Heart of Ebony, which is not the same as Ebonheart. Yeah. That's my understanding. I think they went for something quite literal. I know I said I don't have money. Oh, a spell of luck. Or 7 septims? I'll take it. Thanks. Alright, you're the one with the spell making, but... Well, good news, we'll have enough money to get our boat ride to Therana. Bad news, if I need to fight, it can't be with... Yay! It can't be with a fire spell. We do not wish to join the Mark Tongue. Nice. Talking to her was very valuable. That's all? It's disappointing. It is true that on the way to Therana, we could pick up Aran, who is a very powerful companion. More powerful than Grim, indeed.
Welcome, friend.
But so powerful, it might be a little bit like cheating. Okay. Well, let's find our boat. Hurleurs des collines. Cliff racers. Literally, screamers of the hill. Boats, boats, boats. Do I have Ports of Vivek? I think I have the immersive Ports of Vivek installed. This is the Gates of Ascadia. There is a boat here. Honestly, I feel like it's a lot less impressive than it sounds, simply because, as I said earlier, a lot of people seem to severely overestimate the difficulty of playing a video game in a target language. I think mostly they're worried it will take away from the enjoyment of playing the game. And that alone is enough to make you think, nah. Can I jump and survive? If I jump in the water... No, I'm not gonna get in the water yet. It's not... No. No. We like board games a lot, and so my partner suggested, why don't we play board games in German? And I said no. No, I want to have fun. I don't want to be thinking about it. Though sometimes there's one board game that we play together in French. We normally speak English. And it's fun, though I'm a little bit in teacher mode. How many board games? Oh, officially 60. No, officially 50. That's what I said. I said, no, once we have 50 board games, that's it. It's one out, one in, and that's it. But I think we are now closer to 60. And if we have expansions, I count that as one game. It's a game plus the expansions, that's one board game. So, yeah.
Why walk when you can run?
Yeah, no problem. We can totally afford that. Let's chat for a little bit. I don't think it's gonna do much, yeah, For example, I asked a Russian streamer who is also learning Japanese about gaming in Polish. He thought he'd need like 60 hours, whereas my figures are 6 to 8 hours. It's a huge difference. I doubt he's actually need as much. I think there's a couple of things happening there.
Care to see the sights?
Yes, please. Take me to Therana. having more lessons or thinking that you need more lessons is probably more of a reassurance rather than an estimate, an objective estimate of how many hours you need to spend learning a language before you can use it. Because I have some students, they've had 3 lessons in French, and they can communicate, not, you know, on a large number of topics. Just introduce themselves and try things out with the language. Because they're not afraid of saying something wrong or stupid, they're just genuinely trying to communicate. But the more concerned you are with speaking properly and doing well, the more you're going to, it's not procrastinate, or could it be? It's a form of procrastination. We go, no, I need more lesson before I try to speak with somebody. Or I need, and that could be for sports, games, I don't know, I need to practice more. And then I can do that activity with other people. And that's a feeling I've had. I remember as a teenager turning down playing a game of pool, not because I didn't want to, but because I had never played it and I was afraid. Morrowind, tell me you're just loading because I haven't saved in... Ooh, let's quick save. That was a that was a good reminder of maybe it's time to quick save your game. Done. It was just the cell loading. But yes, like turning down an activity because you've never done it and you don't want to look stupid. And the first opportunity I had to try it on my own, I did. Made no difference, you know, to how well I played when I played with people. It's silly, but if you're not afraid of saying wrong stuff, it's good. That's a question I ask my student when I have new students. Say, all right, what is your goal? You want to communicate and you don't care if you make mistakes, or do you want to know that you're saying things properly? Because you're not going to teach them the same way. Either way, you want to steer them towards a good middle ground. But it's important for me to know how they feel about that. And students who are not afraid to make mistakes learn so much better because they try things out. We are... Wait. Yes, that's what I thought. How bad would it be to go and talk to Therana wearing the skirt? Could it go wrong? I don't think so, honestly. I hear she's a swell lady, understanding, rational, all that good stuff. Yes, very true. I have this problem. I'm forgetting to quick save quite a lot. Especially when we are chatting at least as much as we are playing. But good. Morrowind knows best. Morrowind gave me a not so gentle reminder that maybe I should save. Oui, c'est ça. Un moment effrayant. C'est un jeu d'horreur. Can I? Crap. Okay, it's a good thing we still have a bit of money. I realize I have neither spell nor scrolls or even potions to levitate. And we kind of need that to talk to Therana. Huh. Completely forgot about that. We are chilly. Yeah, but, you know, style. Just for now, I'm going to put my clothes back on. I used to have a different robe. You're part of my clothes back on. Okay. Yeah, I have water breathing. How come I don't have the icons on my... There we go. Much better. But anyway, it confirms I don't have levitation. Are there a lot of flowers that I can pick up around here? To make maybe 100 septims? We'll see. I was trained since childhood to save early and save often. Honestly, by now I should know to save the game, but what a lovely ooh, look at that. The shield effect.
Why aren't you working?
And this one has everything, right? Shield, lightning shield, looks terrible. We don't want to go to the lower tower. Do you think maybe I'm athletics enough to jump? We'll try. I was raised on adventure game where there were 1001 stupid ways to die. Especially, I mean, when you're old enough that you played games where you cannot save. That was fun. Alright, let's catch my breath and see, because you see those ridges? Grim, I'm so sorry, Grim. You don't really want to see Therana. Trust me. Also, I don't want to wear that. Don't try to move. This is gonna be all too heavy for you. Okay? Just stay put. What else is heavy? That is probably heavy. Okay. Stay put. I might be right back, in fact. Yes! Whew! Suddenly, dumping everything that I had in my inventory just makes such a difference. I could jump. Okay. We do not want to anger her. For sure. I have Mantle of Ascension installed. Yes, that's why I thought maybe I could try to climb. Nearly ended up burning out on my Pathfinder playthrough because of a couple of game overs. Oh, that's frustrating. And Pathfinder, I have Pathfinder, don't I? Kingmaker? And I did start it. And I did like it too. Oh, I can see Grim. You can't see it because I have my lower third. But Grim's stamina went all the way down to 0. So I'm going to... Kingmaker is the first one. You like the second one even more. I have this weird thing. I can't play the second one until I've played the first one. So maybe I'll go back to it once I finished Morrowind. Let's be... There we go.
Feed the spiders.
Hello, Therana. Are those my new clothes? I've waited ever so patiently for them. Yes. I don't want to put it on, because I know you're gonna be mad. So... I'm so sorry, Khajiit. Guys, is there a way to not die and not have the Khajiit killed? Because... it's horrible. Really. You might have a game key from the Morrowind writing competition for it. Install it. Like, if you enjoy turn-based strategy, roleplay, plenty of lore, you're going to enjoy it for sure. Wrath of the Righteous. That's the second one, right? You also got it from a modding event. Everybody gets their game from various Morrowind modding competition. By the way, you asked whether I learn solely through video games. Forgot to answer that one. Not just that. You start with a basic course. And then you start gaming. Right, so you have just a little bit, which makes perfect sense. Nice. So you do the gaming before the series. So when you ask me which one I felt was easier, you agree that gaming is probably a little easier. Though, again, with YouTube, you can slow the speed down. Not a lot, because it just sounds weird. But I recommend my students try it, have the captions if they're quality, and go to 0.75. It sounds a little weird at first, but then you get used to it. So we know of no way to save the poor Khajiit.
This one is no slaver. This one is...
I'm so sorry. Vildaribon, you're happy? Shurivir. Okay, hang on. I refused that quest, so no. But Shurivir, the fool vexed me. Poof, gone in a flash before I could rightly punish his arrogance. Or was it incompetence? No matter. I know an intervention spell when I see one. More like mine, yes. That's where he'll scurry. I'll send my guards at once. That slippery lizard is as good as dead. And a tasty treat for my spiders. Yes, yes. Let's go pick up Shurivir. I've actually never adventured with him outside of playtesting the mod before publishing it. The Modern Adventurer. Do we have the horoscope? What is our sign? We're warrior. The tower, the thief, the warrior. I hope you're ready for our horoscope. Indeed, a good month for the warrior. As clear as a constellation will be seen in the evening sky. As strong as the warrior. Use that strength for good and righteous goals, or it might turn against you in the end, and prophecies shall fall into doom. That is our horoscope. We will keep that in mind. What is that key? Well, we're not going to pick it up. She might get angry. I'm so sorry, Razier. So sorry. And bye. That was great. You've played the tabletop version of Pathfinder? I have not, actually. And I'm not sure that I would want to. Currently, we're doing Call of Cthulhu, like as a system, which I enjoy, and it's refreshing because it's not D&D. Like, it's not that I'm against D&D, but it feels too almost like a stereotype. So it's nice to have other systems, and I'm guessing Pathfinder, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it's very likely, but I think it was created because people were not quite happy with D&D, one of the versions. I'm not sure which one, but it feels like a different version of the same thing rather than something completely new. Spanish was way smoother. Didn't even finish Morrowind, stopped halfway into the game. Then I think I played a few games, a lot less than in French, before watching Peach Girl, an anime as well. Big Bang Theory, and by the way, I didn't need anywhere near 3 hours at the start of Morrowind, thanks to my French knowledge. Obviously, 4th edition. It's great, and that's why the more languages, it's always very impressive when people say, oh, wow, you speak 10 languages. And it is very impressive, don't get me wrong. But it is also true that every time you learn a new language, you sort of skip the first few levels. You jump start, you kick start ahead, and because of those connections, right? And you have more things to connect and to understand the system. I would be very curious to try to learn a language that has a complete different system. Latin-like, I've done that. Obviously French and a little bit of Spanish. English, German feels quite different because of the word order, though there's a lot of overlap with English, and French also a little bit. I lived in Slovakia for 15 years. About 15 years, so I picked up some of the language, obviously. So sometimes with Russian or Polish, I go, I think that means that. But yes, the more languages you know, the more sort of system or language logic you understand. That's not the proper way to phrase it, but you know what I mean. No, okay, well, I'll be jumping then. I was gonna go and talk to the guy, but... crap. Grim is on the other side. See if we can jump again. Yes. Oh, there you are, Grim. What are you doing, Grim? Are you levitating while overburdened? I am very impressed. Slavo, welcome on in. You're from Slovakia. Ahoy. Ako sa máš? I'm very rusty on my Slovak language, and Slavo for Slavomir, I assume. Welcome on in. Lovely to have you here. And that's all I need. Alright then, let's go. Let's go, Grim. We're done here. Yes. Dobre. Áno, Slavomir. Something that I really liked when I was in Slovakia was... Am I going the right way? No. Up a tower. We want the way down that way. Was how you can change the names. So Maria could be Marika, Maika. And so to almost have a different name based on the relationship you have with the person, I thought that was very nice. I like that. Russian helps me a lot when learning Japanese. Okay. Like, it's hard for me, I don't know enough Russian and even less Japanese to be able to connect the dot, but how? Where are they similar? I cannot activate the platform. Alright, let's get out. Ouch. That's not a good book for us. Oh well. Wow, we're not good at climbing down the tree. Thank you so much for the follow, Slavo. Dziękuję. Hey, Nell. You only know Americanese. A hard language to master, I hear. How you doing, Nell? Slavko, Slavino. Yeah, I like that. I think that's really nice. Oh, crap. Nope. Wrong way. Sorry. I am so not going in that dungeon. I could score a Dremora follower. No. Nope. This is Permadeath.
Go ahead.
And I do not wish to perma-die. So where's the bloody exit? This way? I know this game, I promise you. There we go. Mercury Bard, you quickly learned in Luxembourg that if I need help communicating with someone, if I found a teenager that'd be in their late 20s, early 30s, they could usually translate. Most of them spoke 4 to 5 languages, sometimes in the same sentence. It's really fun when you listen to people who, like especially young couples, I observed that in young couples, where they know English, but they're speaking in their native language, but they throw in English words or bits of sentences here and there. And I always find that interesting, how it happens very naturally. It's not like they're trying to be cool and put cool English words in there. It's just that somehow the English word flows naturally in that sentence. And it's not like when, from my observation of French teenagers, they speak French and then they want to say something cool, like, I don't know, but like they're going to say it with an atrocious French accent. Like, you know that in their mind they're using an English word because they want to use an English word. And that's not what I saw from those couples, where just some English words or a few words just fit seamlessly in their sentence. I like that. I think it's interesting. And yeah, am I familiar with grammatical cases in German? I'm starting to. Am I enjoying it? No, not at all. I complain plenty. Like, you know French with the articles, and we have those different articles, and feminine and masculine and singular and plural. And yes, it's complicated, but the word la is always going to be feminine, whereas there can be masculine, singular, or feminine. I don't know if there's a case where it's going to be plural. I wouldn't be surprised. So yes, I am familiar just a little bit. So far, we've only seen nominative, accusative, and now they started with dative. Dative? I'm not sure. Dative, that's my German pronunciation. And yes, it's a lot to wrap my head around, especially when it's hard to remember if the word is feminine, masculine, or neuter, and then to remember the case. And then if you have to say zum or im, because anyway. So yes, I am vaguely, very vaguely. Stability is good these days with the new MGWC updates. I haven't had any problems whatsoever since I switched. I did notice that it takes a little bit longer to load the game at first, but I don't think I've seen the memory indicator since then. And then I'm not really paying attention to it either. So zero problems whatsoever. And I removed the mod with the shields, and I haven't had a problem since then either. So thank you for that, because I was not feeling doing a complete reinstall of Morrowind. The concept, like, I knew of the concept because in Slovak they use those, but because I never formally learned Slovak, I just heard it a lot. So I would go with the ending that sounded okay, and I would tend to make my endings rhyme with other words in the sentence. Quite atrocious, and I apologize to anyone who ever listened to me speaking Slovak, though my students loved it. They absolutely loved it. And sometimes I would say, Miss Teacher, they call me, Pani Profesorka, Miss Teacher, are you going to speak Slovak? And so from time to time at the end of the lesson, I say, okay, guys, you have 2 minutes. We're speaking Slovak. And they loved it because I said the most stupid things ever. And I thought that was fair. They make mistakes in French, and I think it made them feel good to hear me make mistakes in their own language. I updated MWC this morning. Not sure if that was what causing my game to lag or if my computer was just filling its age. Like, at what point did you have the lags? And actually, I haven't updated MWSE since last week. But MGE, with the fork of MGE, no, I haven't had issues at all. You could use it as a motivation for your student if they go, yeah, and absolutely, that's how it was. That's exactly how it was. It was fine. Just I don't know. again, back to humility. I think it's important to be humble, and yeah, they're learning, they're trying hard. French is not that easy. What is this building? What is this building? There's a sign, but we don't know what the sign says. Mona Spell Boutique, and it's open, as luck would have it. Hello, Mona. Yes, spell making, exactly what I want. I have no way of making her like me, so...
Yes, sir.
So we'll see what we can do with 161 septims. Sorry, Latte, what was that? Of course, yes. If you want to come here, everyone can see how gorgeous you are. Well, as an example, Russian has 6 cases, and having an understanding of the concept helps a lot with Japanese particles. I see, they are not the same, but understanding cases make particles a lot more intuitive. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Like, I understand so far, nominative, that's when it's a subject, accusative when it's an object, and dative, from what I can see, it's going to be about places so far. So I think having French as a native language where we learn grammar from a very young age, like a 6-year-old kid is going to learn what is a subject, a verb, an object. Because you can't explain French without it at some point. You need to understand those concepts. Whereas I've taught French to kids in the US or in the UK, and I had to explain what is a subject, what is a verb, what is an object, because it's not something that they need to think of to be able to speak English so much. But as a French kid, you start from age 6 till age 16, you learn how to analyze a sentence and say, this is that type of word, that is the function of the word in the sentence. And as far as I can see, cases is based on the function, like what the word does in the sentence. So conceptually, I'm fine. Conceptually. I didn't actually understand English grammar until I took Latin in high school. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, yeah, Latin cases. You have cases in Latin as well, right? I think rosa, rosae, those are cases. Not studying Latin is one of my regrets. And I know I can do it now, but I don't think I have the brain bandwidth to do that. Okay, she has... Ooh. Okay, I can't afford any of those, so, you know, we forget about that. That sounded fun, like a Telvanni Myconid? That's the sort of spell we should have. But let's see what sort of fire spell, particularly not on self, on target, I could do. I don't really care for the duration. I don't really care for a wide radius either, I think. I mean, can we push it to 50? I feel like 50 damage is pretty good. And that's just about what I can afford. Then I can't afford the boat to get back. Get a powerful spell and walk back, or use an intervention scroll. Maybe use an intervention scroll, which will take me to Molagmar. Done. Boom. We call it, what do we call it? I mean, I am tempted to call it Fire 50, but that's not cool. Come on, we're an Altmer We were born for magic. We call it. We're also a bodybuilder. This is gonna be Sexy Inferno. 50, so I know the spell. Sexy Inferno. We got it.